Welcome back, my dear students. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how a teacher of listening, when he enters to a class, how he begins the process of teaching listening. As I said, the first thing that a teacher must do is going through the pre-listening exercises. You know, we have all the process of listening from pre-listening, listening and post-listening, followed by some exercises, respectively. So we first talk about pre-listening exercises. You know, when a teacher of listening enters a class, he has got all his equipment rightly placed in front of the students, and everything all ready, the multimedias and computers, laptops, speakers and everything rightly placed in front of the class, and checking everything before he moves into. So then he distributes the time appropriately. Like if we have got 60 minutes class, then he has to spare first 20 minutes for pre-listening exercises, 20 minutes for listening of the text, and then another 20 minutes followed by post-listening exercises. So that's very important to remember for a teacher of listening in any class, to execute this time management. That's very important factor. So we just today talk about first 20 minutes of a class where a teacher enters with pre-listening exercise in the class. Now, what is the first thing that a teacher does? For example, he has got 20 minutes. He will have first 10 minutes for his part to explain to students whatever, and then the second 10 minutes will be divided 5 minutes each in the students' interaction respectively, and I will tell you how. Now, for example, the first 10 minutes that the teacher would like and he should spend for teaching pre-listening exercise is that the first thing he tells the students about the aims of listening, what they are going to listen and why are they going to listen. And then then most importantly, he is going to ask them to predict what is going to be the text about. Now, as I said, one of the macro strategies in developing listening skills is that students should have the ability to predict about what is going to be the content of the text that is going to be played in the class. So the first thing is giving and preparing the students to be warmed up and begin to think and gaze and predict about the content, and that definitely will take some time. So in this course of the student-teacher interaction, I would say this is the teacher's part by now. First 10 minutes completely, the teacher is in charge of the class, and he is going to demonstrate to the students that what's going to be in the text that will be played very shortly. So he will ask them to predict about the text that is going to be played. So what if in this situation, if the students are not able to come up with a very concrete or a very relevant response, then he can give them some clues. For example, in our case, that we have got some exercise in our plan of listening, this listening section. The text might include words and he can use those words or phrases as clues for the students to help them, to facilitate them thinking in the thinking and prediction process. For example, he can tell them that the text you are going to listen might include words such as problems, or such as your life, your city life, your country life, or your education, or something more than that. So I mean, with these few clues, the students will begin to think about problems. I mean, they can have a kind of a direction to facilitate their thinking. So this is the first 10 minutes time where the interaction between the teacher and the students takes place. I mean, the teacher is at the speaking end and the students are listening passively. At times they can ask questions also. But once he has consumed his first 10 minutes and he has prepared, he has ensured that the students are fully charged and motivated and ready and prepare, then he will ask them to write down what are their predictions. So, and now it is for 5 minutes. The second stage in pre-listening process is that the teacher hands over the class. The class, let's say, is silent completely for next 5 minutes, and the teacher is asking only one thing, that now you need to write down on a blank sheet that is in front of you your predictions, your guesses. What do you think is the text going to be about, which includes words like problem, like life, like country life, city life, or like culture or education or something like that. So he will give them 5 minutes to write down something on the sheet. So once these 5 minutes are complete and the students have done something, the second stage is complete. So now the teacher has gone down to 15 minutes of his allocation of 20 minutes in the first phase of pre-listening process. Then the teacher has, hands-on, and then he asks his students, all right, you have done the written work, you have written down your predictions, your thinking, your opinions, your guesses or your responses, whatever it is. Now let's discuss it in pair. So if you're sitting in a pair or with your partner, you discuss and compare and share your responses. So the students together will share with the next student sitting in the class, with the partner of the pair in the class. So a kind of a discussion will take place for another 5 minutes. So this discussion will focus on how the students are mentally connected with the words, with the clues, or how relevant or confidently they are going to predict about the text that's going to be played. So this 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes in the pre-listening exercises stage basically is a discussion between the students, not the teacher. The teacher is only just supervising what the students are doing. So once the students have done this discussion, the teacher can ask them, all right, you have done this, how do you find? Then he can just very briefly get few responses from the students. Okay, so someone can come up and answer my question. What is going to be the text about? So then there will be few responses coming at the end of the 20th minute in this class. So once these 20 minutes are complete, the students have spent 10 minutes of very active discussion, of writing and then oral discussion. Now they are ready. Now they are ready to take on listening. So the next stage would be the first listening that the students will begin to take. So here at this stage, the teacher will have a kind of a pause and then begin his next stage, which is listening. So I would like you to focus on these 3 stages that are very important. If you are a teacher of listening, if you are a student of listening, these 3 things are very important. First is the teacher's part, to have a very good motivation given to students with very good questions, with very good number of clues about the text. So some kind of an input for 10 minutes to generate the students' good responses. Then 5 minutes for students to predict, think, guess about what the text is going to about, and then write it down also in those 5 minutes. Listening and note taking is very integral process. So then the students will write down and then the other 5 minutes they will have to compare and share and discuss with their partners sitting next to them, and then in this way a very good environment will be created, a very good motivation will be maintained by the students to be ready to listen the real listening in the next stage. So this is what is done in the pre-listening stage. So I hope that you understand it and you are going to do it, and then further on this I will explain to you what is going to happen in the listening stage. Thank you.